If you could inherit a premonition, would you fight it or just brace for impact? Final Destination Bloodlines brings back the franchise's signature chaos, but this time it adds a twist. Death isn't just stalking survivors, it's coming after a family tree, and the clock's been ticking for decades. We've got inventive kills, a layered mystery, and one final haunting message from the man who's been the soul of the series, Tony Todd. Let's unpack why Bloodlines might be the smartest and most personal entry in the franchise yet. Stephanie Reyes is a college student who keeps waking up from nightmares she can't explain. These visions feel real, like memories that aren't hers. When she returns home looking for answers, she discovers a chilling connection to her grandmother, who decades earlier stopped a disaster before it happened. Now, death seems to be correcting the timeline, and it's not just after her, it's after the whole family. What follows is a tense unraveling of secrets, omens, and impossible choices. Stephanie has to decode her grandmother's warnings and find a way to cheat fate, if that's even possible. Let's talk about what makes this installment stand out. First, the concept. Tying the deaths to a bloodline was a clever way to raise the stakes. It makes everything feel more personal. You're not just running from a freak accident, you're running from history. The opening sequence is classic Final Destination. Tense, elaborate, and almost hypnotic. It's the kind of scene you can't look away from, even when you know what's coming. The kills? Creative, brutal, and sometimes shockingly quiet. This film remembers that the best scares aren't always the loudest. Whether it's a misstep at a family barbecue or a moment of false relief in a hospital hallway, you're never really safe. The cast holds their own, especially Stephanie and her younger brother Charlie. There's genuine chemistry between them, and their reactions feel grounded, even when the situations spiral into the absurd. But let's be honest, this movie belongs to Tony Todd. As Bloodworth, he's always been the philosopher of the series, but here, there's something more. A weight to his presence, a sense that he's not just delivering lines, he's offering closure. There's a moment when he looks right at Stephanie and says, "Life is precious. Enjoy every single second. You never know when." And it hits differently, because Tony Todd, who filmed this while quietly battling cancer, seems to be leaving something with us, not just for the characters, but for the audience. It's a line that lingers, like he's reminding us, through this strange and violent franchise, that life, however brief, is still sacred. Now let's get into what's underneath all the chaos. Bloodlines asks a tough question. What happens when you disrupt the natural order? Iris, the grandmother, saves lives, but at what cost? Her decision creates a ripple that spans generations, and Stephanie's nightmare isn't just her own, it's inherited. The idea of generational trauma isn't new, but framing it through the lens of supernatural horror gives it a fresh angle. Death becomes less of a villain and more of a force, inevitable, methodical, patient. There's also something tragic about watching this family try to rewrite fate. They're not thrill-seeking teens. They're sons, daughters, brothers, and mothers trying to protect each other. And that makes the fear more intimate. The kills are still shocking, but the grief afterward? That's what stays with you. This entry doesn't just show us what it's like to outrun death. It shows us what it's like to live with the countdown always ticking. So, does Bloodlines deliver? Yes, in more ways than one. It respects the formula, elaborate accidents, impossible odds, but it also adds something new. The idea of legacy, of debt, of sacrifice. The performances are strong, the kills are brutal, and the pacing keeps you hooked. But more than that, it feels like a film made by people who care about what this franchise means. And at the center of it all, Tony Todd. That one line, "Life is precious. Enjoy every single second." It's not just good writing, it's a farewell, and maybe even a warning, that death comes for us all, but until it does, we still get to choose how we live. That's my take on Final Destination Bloodlines. Smart concept, solid cast, and a finale that leaves you thinking about more than just the next scare. What did you think? Is this the franchise's true swan song? Or do you think death still has more work to do?
Hey, 5-star review, yeah? Like and subscribe.
And hit that bell so you never miss a review. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grateful, and always stay rated.